Imagine injecting yourself with a substance that could make your muscles swell beyond natural limits, but at a cost. It's not just about getting stronger, it's about forcing your body into a chemical state it was never designed to hold, and the deeper that signal spreads, the more systems start paying the price. This is not an instructional video on steroid use. It's a scientific breakdown of what steroids really do to your body. Before we dive in, tap subscribe now for more mind-blowing insights into the human body. When most people think of steroids, they picture bulging muscles, chiseled abs, and explosive strength, but that is only the visible layer. Under the skin, anabolic steroids act like amplified versions of testosterone, and once those hormone levels rise far above what your body normally makes, the brain, heart, liver, blood vessels, skin, reproductive system, and even mood regulation can all start shifting in the wrong direction. Anabolic steroids are synthetic versions of testosterone. In medicine, some forms have legitimate uses, but misuse is a completely different story because the doses taken for physique or performance are often far above medical replacement levels. That matters because your endocrine system works on feedback. It is always measuring, always adjusting, always trying to keep hormones in range. The moment outside steroids flood the system, that balance starts to break. Here is where the danger becomes hard to see. Your body does not know your goal is a bigger chest or faster recovery. It only detects an unusually strong androgen signal. So the hypothalamus and pituitary begin dialing down the chemical messages that normally tell your testes to make testosterone and sperm. In other words, the body responds to more steroid by making less of its own. That is not a rumor. That is basic endocrine feedback. Escalation. Nagra 1. Initial impact. The first change many users notice is exactly why these drugs are attractive in the first place. Muscle cells increase protein synthesis, recovery can feel faster, and training volume may rise. But growth does not happen in isolation. Muscles are only one target tissue. Androgen receptors are spread widely through the body, so the same signal-pushing muscle can also affect the cardiovascular system, liver function, lipids, blood pressure, skin, and reproductive organs. Your heart is one of the organs that can get caught in that crossfire. Steroid misuse has been linked to higher blood pressure, unfavorable cholesterol changes, enlargement and thickening of the heart muscle, and impaired heart function. And here is the nasty part. Looking more muscular on the outside can happen at the same time the heart is becoming less efficient on the inside. Bigger in the mirror does not automatically mean healthier under the ribs. Sometimes it means the exact opposite. Now add the blood itself to the equation. Anabolic steroids can raise red blood cell production. That may sound useful for performance, but thicker blood is harder to move and may add strain to the cardiovascular system. Combine that with high blood pressure, worse cholesterol profiles, and structural heart changes, and you have a setup that has been associated with heart attack, stroke, clotting problems, and cardiomyopathy. Not in theory, in real clinical literature. And ask yourself this. If a drug helps you push harder in the gym, but at the same time may make your heart work harder every minute of the day, is that really a strength upgrade, or just a hidden trade you cannot feel yet? There is another catch people do not talk about enough. Muscles can adapt faster than connective tissue. That means someone may feel stronger before tendons and supporting structures have fully caught up. The result can be a false sense of invincibility, where the body feels powerful right up until something gives way. The image is strength. The biology is imbalance. Escalation. Run 2. Liver damage. The liver is another major target, especially with certain oral steroids that are chemically modified to survive digestion. That same chemical design can make them tougher on the liver. Over time, misuse has been linked to liver stress, abnormal liver tests, cholestatic injury, liver disease, and in some cases liver tumors. So while the user may be focused on arm size or body fat percentage, the liver is busy processing a drug load it never volunteered for. And the liver is not just some background filter. It helps regulate metabolism, process nutrients, and clear substances from the bloodstream. If that system is stressed long enough, the damage does not stay neatly contained in one organ. It starts to ripple outward. Energy changes, hormone handling changes, recovery changes. The body becomes a place where more and more systems are compensating at once. Now here comes the mid-script twist, and it is one of the most counterintuitive effects in the entire story. The more outside testosterone-like hormone you pour in, the more your body may shut down its own natural testosterone production. That means the same person chasing a hypermasculine look can wind up with low natural testosterone, shrinking testicles, reduced sperm count, infertility, lower sex drive, and erectile problems. The drug that looks like more manhood from the outside can produce the opposite effect inside. That shutdown can also linger after stopping. Recovery is possible for some people, but it is not instant, and it is not identical in every case. Some effects improve, some take much longer, some may not fully reverse. That uncertainty is part of what makes misuse so dangerous. You are not just borrowing gains from your future. In some cases, you are gambling with functions your body may struggle to restore. And then there is estrogen. Yes, estrogen. Some anabolic steroids or testosterone-derived compounds can be converted in the body to estrogenic hormones. That can contribute to breast tissue growth in men, fluid retention, and another layer of hormonal distortion. So the internal chemistry becomes even more chaotic. Androgen excess in one pathway, hormonal suppression in another, estrogen-related effects appearing at the same time. It is not a clean more testosterone equals more muscle story. It is endocrine turbulence. If one risk shocks you more than the others so far, tell us in the comments which one is more dangerous, heart damage or hormone shutdown. Escalation. 3. Mental and emotional impact. People often talk about steroids as if they only change tissue. That is wrong. The brain is part of the story too. Misuse has been linked with irritability, aggression, mood swings, paranoia, anxiety, and in some cases, manic or psychotic symptoms. Not every user experiences every effect, and severity varies, but the link between steroid misuse and neuropsychiatric problems is well documented enough that it cannot be brushed aside as just gym folklore. The popular phrase, roid rage, is a crude oversimplification, but it exists for a reason. Supraphysiologic androgen exposure can affect neurotransmitter systems and brain regions involved in emotion, impulse control, and aggression. In plain English, the chemical environment in the brain can shift. A person may feel more reactive, less stable, more suspicious, more volatile, or just not like themselves. And because these changes can build gradually, some users do not recognize the shift until relationships, work, or judgment have already taken a hit. Then comes the part many people never see coming: withdrawal. Steroids do not usually produce a classic drug high, but they can still lead to dependence, and stopping can bring fatigue, sleep problems, loss of appetite, lower sex drive, cravings, and depression that can become severe. Think about how brutal that is. The same drug that may temporarily make someone feel bigger, stronger, and more in control can leave them mentally flattened when the cycle ends and natural hormone production is still suppressed. So ask yourself this: if a substance changes not only how your body looks, but how your brain regulates mood, motivation, aggression, and reward, is it really just a bodybuilding shortcut? Or is it a full-body system disruptor wearing the mask of a fitness tool? Escalation 4. Reproductive and hormonal side effects. By this point, the reproductive damage starts making more sense. In men, misuse has been linked to shrinking of the testicles, reduced sperm count, infertility, erectile dysfunction, baldness, breast development, acne, and sometimes testicular cancer risk being flagged in clinical resources. That is the real meaning of hormone disruption. The body's normal reproductive signals are being overruled. For women, the risks are different, but no less serious. Misuse can cause menstrual changes, growth of facial and body hair, male pattern hair loss, reduced breast size, clitoral enlargement, acne, and voice deepening. And some of these masculinizing effects may be irreversible even after the drugs are stopped. That is one of the clearest examples of how steroid misuse can push the body into changes it cannot simply undo on command. Teenagers face an additional danger. In adolescents whose growth plates have not fully matured, anabolic steroid misuse can accelerate bone aging and potentially stunt growth. So the promise of becoming bigger faster can, in younger users, actually interfere with normal physical development. That is not enhancement. That is biological sabotage during one of the most sensitive stages of growth. And we still have not finished the damage list. Kidney injury has also been linked with anabolic steroid misuse. Some of that risk may be direct, some may be driven by the knock-on effects of high blood pressure, changes in blood flow, oxidative stress, or the fact that steroid misuse often happens alongside dehydration, heavy supplement use, painkillers, or other substances. The exact mechanism is not always identical from one case to another, but the overall message is clear. Kidneys are not protected just because the goal was muscle. There are also the effects people dismiss as cosmetic, even though they are warning lights. Severe acne, oily skin, hair loss, fluid retention. These may look minor compared with a heart attack or liver damage, but they matter because they are external clues that the body's hormonal environment is no longer under normal control. The mirror may show one result you wanted and 5 warning signs you did not. Escalation. Number 5. The long-term consequences. The most disturbing part of the steroid story is that the damage is not always loud at first. Cholesterol can worsen quietly. Blood pressure can climb quietly. The heart can remodel quietly. Fertility can fall quietly. Mood can destabilize quietly. A person may feel powerful right up until the moment one of those hidden costs becomes impossible to ignore. That is why steroid misuse can be so deceptive. The reward is visible now. The risk is often invisible until later. And uncertainty is part of the danger. Not every user will get every complication. Not every effect is fully predictable. Some harms may improve after stopping, others may persist. But the evidence is strong enough on cardiovascular, hormonal, reproductive, liver, kidney, and psychiatric risks that there is no honest scientific version of this story where steroids are just a harmless fast track to a better physique. So what happens inside your body when you take bodybuilding steroids? You do not just grow muscle. You trigger a chain reaction. Your brain suppresses its own hormone signals. Your blood chemistry can shift. Your cholesterol can worsen. Your heart may thicken. Your liver may strain. Your kidneys may take damage. Your fertility can drop. Your mood can turn unstable. And the scariest part is that some of this can be happening while you still look like the strongest version of yourself. That is the shocking truth behind what happens inside. Steroids can change the body fast, but speed is not the same as safety, and size is not the same as health. The body keeps score even when the mirror does not.